It's a beautiful morning late in December, and it's really the perfect time to go around and see what's flowering around the grove. So right past our new sales area here for the trees, we have Hayden. Oh, this is actually Phoenix, a potted plant that is flowering. But this tree here, this is the west side, and you don't really see much in the way of flowers emerging. But on the south side, there's some flowers right up there. Oh, here we go. Here's some flowers also on this side. So we're just starting on Hayden flowers. Here, this one branch of this tree is Angie, and it's starting to flower all over the place. Not seeing much action here. This is Bailey's Marvel, and it doesn't look like it has started to bloom except for right there. I see one panicle emerging. And here's a cherry tree, and again just a few panicles emerging here. This big tree is turpentine. It just recently had a lot of, everything, every branch tip flushed with new growth. And so it's still too young to flower. The leaves are too young to flower. So I expect that once those mature completely, we'll have another bloom, but or the original bloom. But this is, see how flexible this new growth is? It really needs to be more mature than that to start to flower. Well, except for this two exceptions. This branch, well, this is a lot firmer though. This is not that flexible, and we are having a bunch of flowers emerging just on this one area of the tree. Then over here we've got Rosa, and Rosa is usually even more flamboyant than this. I mean, it's got flowers all over the place, but a lot of years we have a lot more bloom than this. But we do have bloom at different stages, some that is fairly mature and some that's pretty darn fresh. This tree is Pineapple Pleasure, and I do not see any blooms on it at all, but it's sort of the same situation as the turpentine, where we've got very young flexible growth on it. So hopefully after a month or whatever we'll have some bloom. We'll see. This is Namdak Mai. Lots of area that doesn't have bloom. We have this little Lone Star bloomer right here, but most of the tree does not have any bloom. Here's Duncan, and seeing a little bit of bloom near the top of this tree. This is the east side of the tree. So just starting there. This tree is Carrie. See one panicle over here. That's sort of weird to have it on the north side, but there you have it. Oh, I'm counting a second one. This particular tree has 3 varieties on it. And this variety right in here is Saitong, and we have little panicle emerging there. One here also, I believe this might be St. Maui. It's coming over from that side of the tree, so that would be fun. We have not yet had either fruit in the grove. Some more flowers down here, and so it looks like we'll have at least 2 of the 3 varieties possibly fruiting, definitely flowering. So here's one of our combination trees, another one actually. This is Venus and Zill, the original Zill mango, which is a nice variety. It's just the fruit are a little bit small compared to a lot of other varieties that we grow. But anyway, looking at this tree and not seeing any flowers yet. Here's Duncan on a bigger tree, and we have at least a couple panicles emerging. There's like 4 on this branch. This is one of the trees that I'm converting. Well, mostly converting. I'll keep a little bit of Van Dyke, but I'm putting another variety on a lot of the cut back areas. And Van Dyke is making a spectacle of itself. Of course, it's got a lot of nice sun, not too much of the way of other leaves blocking the sun. This is a sweet tart tree. And I am not seeing flowers at the moment on sweet tart. This is another Carrie, just a few blooms here and there on it. Here's one of our Beverly trees. No action yet, but that's a late variety. And this is one of our Popuculae or lemon meringue trees. Doesn't look like it started to flower yet. Take a little look over here. We've got a few varieties along the fence. This one is Valkyrie, and I'm seeing 2 flowers emerging up here, flower panicles. So it's a little bit slower than some of the other varieties. So this is another one of our Popuculae or lemon meringue trees, and we've got a few panicles right in this area. This part of the tree has started to flower first. And this is one of our Valencia Pride trees. I don't see any flowers on this at this point, but it's a little bit later variety, so probably we'll get some flowers a little bit later than some of these other trees. The older part of this tree is Southern Blush. This is just recently top work, so I'm not sure if we'll get any flowers from that. But the Southern Blush, it doesn't look like it's started to flower yet either. So another Beverly, same story, no flowers yet. This is Dot, and I think from back here you can see there's a few flowers on the very top of the tree. But the rest of the tree, I am not seeing any action. It's one of our Glen trees. It's a few flowers right there. Oh, so here we go. This particular tree happens to be Edward, and it's got a lot of bloom on it. We've got, more mature bloom on the top of the tree, and then emerging bloom down here. And this is, all of this bloom is just pure bloom. With a lot of our trees, we're seeing mixed bloom now, but Edward is giving us 100% bloom in those cases. We have some more Glen here, and just the odd panicle emerging here and there. Right down here we've got some too. Okay, let's go on to the next row. And right here, I believe we have Edgar. I'm going to take a little peek here. Yes, I'm right. When I'm not picking fruit all the time, don't always remember. Edgar's got a lot of bloom coming out. This is a little touch of mixed bloom when we have leaves and flowers. Now, we've had sort of iffy weather as far as not a real cold snap. And so when you get warm temperatures and cooler temperatures, sometimes you don't get a pure bloom. But it seems that each variety has a different trigger point for pure bloom. And so, some of the varieties like Edward have all pure bloom, and Edgar, which is half Edward, I believe, I think that's the case, is only has like some pure bloom and then some mixed bloom. So here we have some more mixed bloom. We're seeing a lot of mixed bloom on many varieties. But here we have some. Starts out with, well, actually the first part of the top of the bloom has the leaves, and then we have flowers beneath. This is another Popuculae or lemon meringue tree. And here we have Julie. It is proudly the shortest tree in the grove. It's been here for 22 years now. And right now we have some bloom that is larger, like this, and then some little emerging bloom. It seems like it's going to be 3 different panicles coming out of that one area. Julie's a variety that tends to flower a lot. In Jamaica, they tend to get fruit all year round, but here we sometimes get 2 crops. This is Bombay. It's another favorite of people from Jamaica and other places too. Very nice mango. And so far we don't see any mangoes in development. I'm seeing a lot of leaves, but no flowers. Yep, none at all yet. This is one of our Kent trees. It's a late variety, and not seeing any flowers on it yet. Here's one of my project trees. We had originally all Kent. We still have half of the tree Kent, and then half of the tree is Pina Colada. I'm hoping for fruit from Pina Colada for the first time this year, but so far I am not seeing any bloom. And most of the tree here is Cushman, and we have some bloom emerging on Cushman. We've got some right up there. Seems like I saw some other ones. Oh, here we go. A little bit of young bloom there. So go across the way here and look at these trees. This is Jahangir, which is a nice variety. Tree doesn't get huge, from India. Very nice flavor, and hopefully we'll get fruit, but I'm not seeing flowers yet. Next door is Juliet, comparably sized, rather small tree, but not as small as Julie. We've got a little bit of flowers going on here. This, of course, is the south side of the tree, so it is it's part of the tree that normally flowers and fruits the heaviest. But yeah, we've got some promise of fruit there. This is another Popucale or lemon meringue tree, and pretty much the same story as the other trees of this variety in the grove. Not seeing flowers or many flowers at the moment. This is another Kent tree. No flowers yet. Oh, and here's yet another Kent tree, but there's at least 3 or 4 panicles that I'm seeing now. So we're getting some flowering at the very top of the tree. Here's Pettigrew, and Pettigrew is a sort of unusual variety. It is a very late season fruit, and it's really got a nice flavor to it. Pretty good size, and it's just some people have a hard time figuring out when is the right time to pick it. But yeah, we definitely enjoy this fruit, and we are hoping it flowers sometime soon. Right now, not seeing flowers. Look over here on the south side just in case it's hiding something from us, but nope, no flowers yet. That's not a big deal though, because it is a late variety, so a lot of times the late varieties flower later than the other varieties. Here is Bailey's Marvel. Bailey's Marvel is half Bombay, so it's got a lot of the same nice flavors. And it looks like it hasn't really started to flower, but like right here, this looks like we're getting flowers. So it doesn't have anything that's visible from a distance, but we do have some flowers emerging. This is Zilando Chinese, another late variety that's really tasty. And you can see there's a lot of new leaves, so wherever there's new leaves, you're not going to have flowers for a while. So I'm not seeing any flowers anywhere, but I do see a lot of mature leaves. So I'm guessing that when flowers start emerging, it will be in this area of the tree. Here's one of our Namdok Mai trees. It's a very popular variety from Southeast Asia, from Thailand. And we have, like, this particular branch has a lot of flowers on it. So it just is going branch by branch, but that one looking good. The rest of the tree is a little bit behind. Some more flowers here, and this is the south side of the tree, especially in the top. Gets a lot of nice sun, so that's flowering also. And here's one of our Coggeshall trees. Another popular variety. Last year it was our very first variety to fruit. And so far it doesn't seem to be flowering. Yeah, I'm not seeing the flowers on it yet. This is one of our other Coggeshall trees. Same story here, not seeing flowers. But then we get over here, and this happens to be Pim Seng Mun, nice variety from Southeast Asia again. And right up here on this top branch, we have flowers all over the place. It's another Pim Seng Mun. We've got a lot of flowers all over this east side. With these two trees, they're side by side, so I try to trim them a little bit differently each year, different from each other, and that way the timing of the fruit can sometimes be a little bit different, extend the season just a titch. Now here's this tree is mostly Kerry. It's got one branch of Keo Savoy, but we have some flowers around. And we have Graham. Graham is another variety that is very popular with our Jamaican customers and other customers. And it's a relative of Julie, but it grows a little bigger than Julie. It's we have some flowers here, but not a lot so far. Here's a little Kerry tree. There's a few panicles right up there on top, one bigger one and a few emerging. The rest of the tree needs to catch up. Then here, this is very typical. This tree is Jakarta, and Jakarta seems to be really showy. It produces a lot of flowers every year, and so we've got tons of flowers all over the place, different stages, and it actually produces a lot of fruit also, which is, of course, even better than just flowers. A lot of times it has sort of more than one season for us, and which is lovely, because then we get Jakarta for a good chunk of mango season. Yeah, even here on the north side we've got flowers. So here's our Palmer tree. Palmer's a nice late variety, but it looks like it's late for flowering too. It's really not a problem, because it's nice to have very late fruit, and since it doesn't have the flowers yet, it seems like we might have a later variety or a later crop from that. Another late variety, this one is Kit, and no flowers yet. This is another Kit. We cut it back a few years ago, so it's manageable. So most of this is Kit. Got a little bit of another variety, but no flowers going on yet. This big tree is Dupuis Saigon. It's hoping for a good year, but right now I am not seeing flowers. Here's another lemon meringue tree, and definitely slow to flower. This is one of the Namdok Mai trees, same story, huge amount of flowers. Flowers, flowers. This side of this tree is ice cream mango, which is from Tobago variety, and I am not seeing flowers, but this right here is emerging flowers. These nice and plump, sort of round buds. Those will be flowers. Oh, here we go, right above it. We've got some in it. We've got a slightly bigger, and then, even bigger. So, study in young flowers at the moment on ice cream. So this particular tree is Malika from India, and right now I am not seeing flowers on it. It's a variety that usually is, has fruit just after Kerry does, so it's sort of appreciated by the Kerry customers. It's somewhat similar. We have one little flower down here, but the rest of the tree is not flowering yet. Next door is Neelam. That's another variety from India. Very nice, very late variety, a little smaller fruit. And right now we're still waiting on flowers from Neelam. And another late variety, this is Beverly. And same story here, no flowers yet. Here's another Southeast Asian variety, Promkaimia, and we actually get off-season flowers on this tree. Not a lot, but we do get some flowers at very unusual times. But I am not seeing any flowers now when it's sort of a normal time to flower. There's a few more cherry trees. Pretty much the same story. We've got some bloom on the very top of the tree, and you can see in this morning sun that one of the areas that the sun is hitting is over here, and we've got some bloom down here too. So this tree is definitely blooming well, but just in certain areas right now. It's little Carrie sister right here, another Carrie tree, and we have the emerging bloom, and then a lot of places that haven't started blooming yet. And here's our last tree in this row, last tree in this section of the grove. And this is another Malika tree. And the interesting thing is that this is not that far from the first Malika tree. It's in the same row, but the season is always slightly different from the first Malika. So, that's good, of course, to have fruit for a longer period of time. But you figure that the climate is pretty darn similar, but you never can tell how a tree is going to react to a particular location. So anyway, Malika is looking good, healthy and everything, but no flowers yet. So this is our original Ryan mango tree. And this is a really popular variety, but unfortunately last year we got just a handful of fruit from this big tree. Usually we get a lot of fruit, but the weather wasn't with us for this particular variety and several others. But right now, even though you don't see any flowers on the tree, there are some flowers that are just starting to emerge. So hopefully we'll have good weather for this and all the other mango trees this year. That was just a variety that people were missing this year. A lot of people missed a lot of varieties, but this one sort of stood out. Right next door, though, we have the amazing spectacle of dwarf Hawaiian in full bloom. We have pollinators just flying all over the place, and of course, this wonderful, it's like a dark pink, light red. Stems of the flowers, and then we have, just beautiful amount of flowers too. So this is often our very first variety to fruit in the grove. If it's not the first one, it's going to be the second or third, and it looks like, as long as the weather holds, that we are set for another good crop on dwarf Hawaiian. Dwarf Hawaiian is probably a cross between Julie and turpentine mango. It's a plump fruit, and some people eat it slightly before completely ripe. Some people like it creamy and eat it completely ripe. No matter what, this is a popular variety too, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fruit for everyone to taste. So that's a quick look at the mango trees in the northeast section of the grove. A lot of people wonder, how the trees are doing, and especially when we will get fruit. And so far, it's looking like there's nothing terrible that has happened weather-wise yet, but we haven't had that clear cold snap, a good, strong cold snap that would trigger all the trees to bloom. Right now, we're seeing only some of the varieties blooming, and a lot of those varieties are actually producing mixed bloom, the flowers and leaves together. Now, mixed bloom is better than no bloom at all, but pure bloom is better than that. And so we are hoping that we have a nice cold event that triggers all of the trees to bloom, and then of course perfect weather after that, so nothing happens to the flowers or fruit. Right now it's too early to predict what varieties will be strong, and what the weather will be even, a few days from now. It's apparently hard to predict. But we are seeing a lot of really nice bloom on some of the trees. And it does look like we're going to have a later season than a lot of other years. Right now, in this later part of December, we often will have almost all of the varieties with flowers, and it's just a sort of a hit and miss thing right now. So anyway, Dwarf Hawaiian is definitely our star performer, and hopefully all of the other varieties will be inspired to flower soon and we'll have a lot of mangoes. But don't look for mangoes early. Seems like the season is going to be a little bit later than it normally is.